All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Give me touching on the top prop bets today for Taco Tuesday on PrizePicks. That's right, it's profit day. Let's go in and get into it. Now, I do want to call real quickly. We were able to hit a middle yesterday with Alex Carban for his fantasy score under on Underdog. Barely hit, but that was part of it. You know, that was part of why we bet him on both sites, is because it had a strong likelihood to middle. So that was pretty awesome to see. Again, just taking advantage of what the data was telling us to do there. So yesterday was a good day, kind of a fun way to end college basketball. But first, I wanted to remind people of the Taco Tuesday strategy. So last week, it was not a good week for betting for the bet slip. Went 2 for 6, but with that, it was still a profitable day with all the tacos hitting. Not a big profit, only $15 there. But if you guys are wondering what that strategy is, go ahead and check out this video. It is very helpful. Only has about 2,000 views. It's weird. People don't like to know how to win. They just want picks, which is weird. So check that out. It is useful. And if you guys are wondering where that is, just head to the links in the description below. I have that in the link in the description below. So there you go. But yes, looking at the board that we have today, do want to start out with the MLB props that we are getting. I did come out with a how to use this video for 9 to 5 members. You can just click on that. It'll give you a breakdown on how to go about using this. I mentioned in that video that I always like to default to the pitching props a little bit more so than I would any other ones, simply because to me those are giving us a little bit more predictability in the prop lines, basically because pitching stats are easier to predict for the sports books rather than other stuff that goes in a hitting fantasy score like home runs and stolen bases. Those are more random, whereas pitching strikeouts, outs, and whatnot are not as random. So to me, I would rather use a pitching fantasy score or pitcher strikeout prop more so than a hitting fantasy score. And so this first one that we're going to see, Carlos for under 6.5 strikeouts. Yeah, to me, that's a great prop bet that we are getting there. And I'm not exactly sure why they haven't bumped this down like Underdog has already went ahead and done. But yeah, this is one that we can take advantage of right now. Given the fact that this prop bet is still available, I will have it on the bet of the day. You know, it's one of those things where I hate to give you guys prop bets that get bumped. Obviously, I can't control that. I have no idea when that's going to occur or if it will occur. But I can just give you guys the best prop bets when I'm recording this video. To me, this is the best prop bet that we are getting right now. Now, we did see another one there. For pitcher strikeouts for Michael here for 3. The day is telling us to bet the under. That's because at 2.5, this is basically a 50-50 split. It doesn't make any sense why they are giving us this line this way. I don't really like to bet prop bets that are even score prop bets, mostly because, well, not mostly because, but I do hate on the units one when I have to do 0.5 because of a tie like that. I don't know. I would rather bet on a prop bet that's going to be more hit or miss. It's either going to cash or it's not going to cash. I just don't like having a push. At the end of the day, though, it's not a bad thing for that to happen. But if you guys want to go ahead and use that one, you can. Some other pitching prop bets that we are currently getting that are good pitching fantasy score prop bets. And we'll get more throughout the day, but let's just look at it. We got Casey here for over his fantasy score. And then we got Martin Perez for under his fantasy score. Let's jump into those two. So we'll start with Perez. Perez really went off on the 4th against Washington. Apparently, the data thinks that he's going to get crushed today. Now, I will say this is a very interesting one because you're going to see that some of the other prop bets that we have, like the hitting fantasy score prop bets, are going to be his teammates that are actually popping up for the over fantasy score prop bets. And so it's a weird thing. Like if, let's say, Hayes gets his over fantasy score and Brian Reynolds gets his over fantasy score, like the data is telling us could easily happen today, then I would say that hurts the likelihood of Perez today because that would just increase his likelihood to get a win, maybe even a quality start. So to me, that almost does seem to be a one or the other decision there. Whether you guys want to bet the under, that's up to you. I'm going to be doing that. Again, the day is telling us about the under there. I think it's a good bet. Then the other one that we got is going to be Casey for over his fantasy score. Don't really look at the last 5 average, just as an FYI. It's not really useful right now because some of that goes back to spring training and whatnot. Just not that useful. But it is nice to see he's been pitching well. Again, like this is another weird one where this does correlate with the last prop bet I just showed you guys with Perez getting his under fantasy score, I would say. But then again, we have to deal with the hitting fantasy score prop bets. The two of the best hitting fantasy score prop bets that we have are Pittsburgh players. So it does seem to be one or the other there. Okay, I want to make that clear. That's the difficult part about the board right now, is that we have some bets that maybe aren't exactly correlating together. That's for you guys to make your slips the best that they can be based off of that. But to me, we do have 3 really good pitching score props or pitching strikeouts and pitching fantasy score prop bets as it sits right now. And then from there, what other prop bets did we got? Well, we got a lot of decent ones here. We got some under total bases, 54% edge. Acuna for under 2.5 total bases. Obviously, that's a lot. Steven for over his same fantasy score. Like, those are all very solid bets, okay? But again, I kind of want to be chasing those pitching fantasy score prop bets because I see them as having the best percent likely to hit. So let's jump into NBA real quick as well. And I will say, guys, very painful to have to take out the college basketball prop bet sheets because, well, hopefully you guys know those have been pretty darn awesome. It's a pain that's gone because there's a lot of big edges that we had. And it's going to be missed until next year. Let's put it that way. But looking at it right now, we have Joel Embiid for over points. That's personally my favorite one there. And then you got Josh Hart for over rebounds and assists. Those are all solid. Now, I do want to call for NBA today. It is a day in which we have so many games and so many injuries that's going to be a wait and see approach. Again, if I could do a live stream later today, maybe I will. I really don't have the time during the day to do that. That's why I've been trying to get these videos out to you guys a little bit earlier. But if that is something I can do, I will work it in there just so we can get the updated thoughts on NBA throughout the day. But for now, bet the day purposes, I think it's pretty straightforward. I do want to touch on some golf props just real quickly though. So right now the board for golf is kind of bad on PrizePicks compared to Underdog. Underdog has their full board available, whereas PrizePicks just has birdies or better, which it is what it is. But what it's going to tell us is to bet some of the unders here because, well, that's naturally what happens. So John Rahm, I would say the line that we're getting on Underdog is correct. 3.5 is what it should be. Now, can John Rahm get hot? He can. I do want to say this is a little bit risky right now because some players, the tee times haven't come out for the PGA Tour just yet. And that's going to be a big factor on Thursday, it seems like. It seems like there's going to be an AM, PM advantage. And if that's confusing to you guys, there's going to be 40 golfers that kind of go off earlier on in the day when the weather is not as crazy. And then later on in the day, the other half of the golfers are going to go off and the wind's going to pick up a little bit more. So just think about it. If you were throwing a football or trying to shoot hoops in the wind, that's going to be much more difficult, right? That's why I'm kind of want to wait and see where the tee time or when the tee time, what the tee times are that the golfers get for round one on Thursday. So I don't really want to bet those just yet. Discrepancies wise, not much there. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the MLB bets for today. And so looking at, guys, these are the current 6 best prop bets that we have. Again, I want to be using these individually to pair with each of the tacos. So again, check out that Taco Tuesday video if that is confusing to you guys. That's going to be linked in the description below. And this is an order of where I would go about prioritizing. But I want to remind you guys, like, I do not see this working out where you'd bet KC for over his pitching fantasy score and also Hayes. Like, it can work out. It's just not that optimal. Okay, so be careful with that. But again, that shouldn't matter because I tell people the best strategy, if you're just worried about making profit each and every week, month, and year just on the Taco Tuesdays, just bet them individually with the tacos. But that's going to be all for today's video. Do appreciate you guys being here. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. If you guys want access to the tools, head on over to 9 to 5 Sports. That's going to be all for today. Good luck today. And as always, let's keep cashing. Someone on YouTube try to steal that saying. Don't let them do it. They give out props content. Don't let them do it. All right, thanks for watching. As always, let's keep cashing.